Good morning, this is the KC Show. It's 11 minutes after 8 o'clock. It's a very, very sad day, Jay.
Yeah, very sad. Extremely sad.
It's incredibly sad with the news yesterday that we lost an absolute icon, a genius of the game and an absolute gentleman. He was absolutely adored in Cork and right across Munster, right across the country and all over the world. So we just wanted to do a little 3 or 4 minute tribute on Mr. Anthony Foley, on one of the greatest players of all time. Thousands of rugby fans here in Munster and worldwide have been paying tribute to the Munster coach Anthony Axel Foley, who passed away on Saturday night. Munster were in Paris, as you know, to play Racing 92 in the Champions Cup, and that game was suspended and will be rescheduled again. Anthony was a rugby player. He was a captain, he was a leader, he was a coach. More importantly, he was a dad and a husband and a friend. And Anthony was born in Clare. His life was already in rugby. I don't know if you were aware, his dad played for Munster and his dad would have played for Ireland as well. Even his sister was an international rugby player, so rugby was very much in the blood from day one. Anthony played for Munchins and later on to Shannon, and then he joined Munster in 1994. And he put on the green jersey for the very first time in 1995. It was his first international, and he went over the line for an absolutely excellent try. Anthony was the first man to play over 200 times for the club, and it's in the red jersey that he achieved his most cherished memories. The biggest smile we've ever seen on his face was in Cardiff in 2006, when he raised the Heineken Cup to screams and cheers of a packed stadium, his fellow players, and 1 million Munster fans watching at home. We all remember this. It was one of the greatest moments of Munster rugby history.
Oh, glory, glory, Munster!
And on yesterday's tragic news, Mary Kinsella reported for the 42.ie that the gates remained shut, not a single fan had entered the grounds. Everyone hung their head in disbelief. Ronan O'Gara was literally speechless and simply shook his head and looked to get home to his family after the news broke. And it was news that his fellow supporters and fans were just finding it impossible to believe.
We had dreams and songs to sing. It's so lonely round the fields of Athenry.
Not only was Anthony one of Munster's most famous sons, but also the Shannon Club, where his father Brendan and Anthony were just such a part of. So I think, as always, the Munster supporters just hitting the right note in a very moving tribute to Anthony.
His rugby brain was what brought him through, and got him the amazing career that he had, and got him on the European teams of the decades and things. And that's why, because very much a player's player. What wasn't the Chisel Adonises of the Delalios or anyone like that you would see playing against him, but he was just as dangerous, just as effective on the pitch.
That was Shane Byrne speaking about Anthony, and also a little bit earlier on Donal Lenihan on RT News last night. Jerry Thornley in the Irish Times has written, Anthony Foley was born to play, born to lead. The death of a man who represented what Munster is all about is too sad for words, too shocking to be believed. But of course, it was the fans, the backbone of Munster rugby, that will miss him as much.
To hear it, a person of my generation that I played with many years ago, it's just devastating. And apart from the rugby aspect of it, I think the greater tragedies of his family and Olive and his 2 kids and Brendan and Sheila, his parents and his sisters, it's just it's incomprehensible, really.
It's just devastating news, particularly those who were involved or interested in club rugby, because he was a club rugby man as well as a Munster man and an Ireland man. So it's devastating for all of us.
The man would have bled and died for Munster. He is an amazing character. I was lucky enough to meet him while he was working with Ireland and with Munster, and he's a thorough gentleman, same as his dad, and Munster are going to be at a loss without him.
I feel so bad for his family. It's just so young, and it's just so shocking and so sudden.
Tributes from all over the world, Jay, came in on Twitter over the last 24 hours.
Yeah, an awful lot of tweets. John Creedon says, surreal to hear Anthony Foley being spoken about in the past tense. My sincere condolences to his family and all at Munster Rugby. And there's 2 really nice messages from 2 lads who would have been in the trenches with Anthony Foley over the years. So Alan Quillen says, a true friend and a mentor to so many of us. Rest in peace. Axel will never forget you. And if you play rugby, there's a special relationship between number 8 and number 9. And it just goes to show that Peter Stringer has a lot of good feelings for Anthony Foley. He says, feeling numb and alone with only thoughts of this remarkable man. My protector on the field, I'll miss you forever, Axel. So really nice tweets from a lot of past players and a lot of celebrities and stuff. So yeah, it's very sad.
What we're asking people to do today is wear your Munster colours. Get the kids dressed up. And if you're a principal of a school, listen, just allow the kids to wear their jerseys today. Let them get out of uniform just as a little bit of a tribute. If you're going to work, if you're able to put on a scarf or a Munster jersey, or get your flags out, and let's remember him. And of course this morning our thoughts are with his wife and his beautiful wife Olive, and Anthony's beautiful children who he absolutely adored. Book of Condolence will be open at 12 midday. Rest in peace, Axel.